Hi, this is Mrs. Schooling with your December milestone. To get credit for this milestone, you'll watch this video and then you'll experiment with one of the tools that we describe. So this month we're going to look at determining grade level, Lexile level, etc. using online tools. So I'm a math teacher or science teacher or art teacher. Reading levels are for English teachers. They don't matter that much to me. Wrong. Our English teachers have been testing our students on a program called Achieve 3000, and they're discovering that many of our students are reading at or around a fourth grade level. This should matter to you. If you have a room full of students reading at, say, a sixth grade level, how successful will they be with the article or essay that you've just given them to read that's on a 12th grade level? One way you can differentiate instruction is to consider the grade levels of reading materials and adapting them to meet your students' needs. Sometimes your students will be successful with at or above grade level materials, but sometimes they may need something a little more simplified. There are different formulas and reading scales used to determine reading level. You may see some of these terms. They vary slightly in the formulas that they use, but they all tend to give you approximately the same idea of the reading level of an article or essay. If you use one of these consistently, then you'll be able to compare whatever articles or materials that you use for your classes, or you might want to experiment and try the same article in different formats to see if they're hitting at about the same level. So you know your students better than anyone else, and it's your job to determine what level of readability is best for them on any given assignment. The purpose of this milestone is to show you some examples of readability tools so that you can make good decisions for your students. So we're going to start with a website today called Newsela. And Newsela just kind of is a good place for us to look and compare the same article at different grade levels. So let me show you. I've created an account in Newsela, which gives me a little more information than if I just use it free without logging in. So we're going to look at, let's look at a science article. And let's look at this article about lions. All right, so these are the Lexile levels and the grade levels here, and I believe you have to create a login to get the grade level. So let's look at this article at the lowest Lexile, which is 540. We're going to look at just the first sentence or first paragraph. Philip Henschel studies lions. He is very worried about lions in Africa. So that's at third grade level, 540 Lexile. Let's go up a little bit. Now we're going to look at the same article on a 7th grade level, 1070 Lexile, first paragraph. Lions are disappearing from the African continent, and that has researchers worried. The situation is particularly critical in West Africa. So again, same article, a little more complex. Let's look at it at the maximum Lexile level. And this is 12th grade maximum Lexile, first sentence or paragraph. Lions, that symbol of Africa's wild beauty, power, and freedom, no longer roam in Mali, or in Ivory Coast or Ghana or war-shattered Eastern Congo, or most of the rest of West Africa. So again, same article, different Lexile level, different grade level. You can also turn this article into Spanish. After it's been on the website for a day or two, they don't do it the first day or two that it's been on there, but they usually, in a few days, have it in Spanish. And in Spanish, you can look at it at different Lexile levels. So this article may not have, or I'm sorry, this website may not have your subject area, but take a few minutes to look at an article and compare it on different Lexile levels and think about how that might apply to the students in your classroom. Another very simple tool that I want to show you is a readability calculator. I just Googled readability calculator. You can also Google readability level, and a lot of tools like this come up. So this is such a simple tool. And I don't know if it's the perfect tool, but it would at least let me compare articles within my classroom as long as I use the same tool consistently. So I went to the internet and I stole a student article. Here's one about Anubis. And I copied the article. I go back over to my readability calculator, paste the article in, and hit this button down here that says process text. And within just a few seconds, I get a lot of information about this article. Now, you could do this if your students submitted essays to you. You could do this with their essays, or you can do this with any online text that you can copy and paste. So it tells me the number of characters, the number of words, and then down here we get some of these different reading tools. Here's the Flesch-Kincaid, here's the Coleman. And so this article, it looks like on one reading index it's a 6.71, and then on the Flesch-Kincaid it's an 8.85. So I know that this article is approximately somewhere between a 6th and an 8th grade article. So that would help me to determine if this is a good article to use with my students or not. And then the final tool that I want to show you is something that's available to all of us. Now, this might vary slightly if you're on a Dell or a Mac, but I'm going to show you on the Mac, and then we're going to also post the instructions in the email and on Jeff's wiki on how to use this with either the Dell or the Mac. But this is really easy. So you know that when you write an article, it's always smart to do a spell check. Well, within the spell check tool, there's also a readability tool. So I'm going to spelling and grammar, and this button that says options, and I've checked the show readability statistics button right here. Now, it'll look a little different if you're on a Dell, but we will post those instructions in the body of the email and on Jeff's wiki to help you out with that. So you show readability statistics and say okay. And then you go through your entire spell check. So I'm just going to ignore all these mistakes. And then the readability statistics box pops up. And this this essay is on a 9.2 Flesch-Kincaid grade level. And I mean, that was really easy. It didn't cost me anything. All I had to be able to do was copy and paste. So it's pretty easy if you just have some awareness of what grade level the materials you're using are written on. It might aid you in helping some of your struggling students, and it might pull some reading levels up. So please come see us if you have any questions. And remember, to get credit for this milestone, you have to watch this video. You have to experiment with one of these tools that I've shown you. And that's all it takes. And then come sign. Now, this is a short month. December, we go through the 18th. So you have until the 18th to come sign. So that's it. I hope that was easy enough. And we'll see you next month for the January milestone.